To finish off the ridge lines and add some trim to the building, I'm going to be using some punched borders. Now, you could use decorative scissors, you could use plain, you don't have to add a decorative trim, except for you will want to add something on the ridge lines to cover up those joins. Now I'm using this punch, is called Garden Rail by Martha Stewart. I would just suggest if you use a decorative punch, this one, it measures, about a ½ an inch deep is its punch, and I wouldn't go much deeper than that. So yeah, that's what I'm using, this Garden Rail. Now, you need to know the depth of its punching in order to create these ridge ones. I want to have at least a1/4 inch, or about a1/4 inch on either side of when it bends over the rail, so that I'll have a 1/4 inch that I can put some score tape on. So in order to figure out how wide to cut this strip, what I did was I measured the depth of my punch reach, which is a ½ an inch. So I know I need a ½ an inch times 2 for the 2 edges, so that's an inch. And then I'm going to put 5/8 in the middle. So I'm going to cut my strip 1 inch and 5/8 in order to create something that has just a little bit more than a 1/4 inch on either side of the score line. And then I'll take it to my scoreboard, score it down the center, and then add score tape on either side there. Now, you could also punch with, there's some products that you can apply that would put adhesive through on the whole border. I think it'll probably be sufficient just to have this on the ridge line. Don't have a lot of success with intricate punches punching through score tape. You may do better with the punches that you have. So anyway, that's my plan. Possibly I could put some little dabs of glue on any area that might have be subject to some more wear and tear. So anyway, that's for the ridge lines. And then I'm going to, for the top of the a movable roof, where on the right section, I want to mimic this on the ridge line, but of course the building is split at the ridge so that it can open. So I've just cut my strip here, added some 1/4 inch score tape and trim that off, and then I'll install that even with the pattern paper on each half of that roof. I'm also going to use a strip like this, I think, around the top of the tower, and I think that's about it. You know, I may decide later, and you'll see when I make show the final if I installed it anywhere else. The one other place that I'm planning on putting some trim, or at least trying it out, is on the front porch on the right house, right above here, coming across here and then coming down the outside, not on this side over here. So yeah, you know, maybe a piece that comes, that's a little bit hard to see if I can put something behind it here. You know, having a strip that comes across here. Now, if I decide to do that, I have to kind of experiment with how deep this piece needs to be, and then we'll need an area that we can score and attach to the underside of the roof. So I'll experiment with that and let you know what I came up with. But of course, measurements will vary depending on the punch you decide to use. So that's what I'm going to do for trim. So I'll get started installing, and then I'll show you the results. I've decided to add this number 31. It's one of Tim Holtz's number plaquettes. I'm going to put it right up here on the tower. And I've just backed it with a little bit of black cardstock just so it would show up a little bit more. And of course it comes with some brads. You could either put the brads in beforehand, you know, like so, and just get their legs out of the way in the back and then glue it on. Or I'm just going to poke some holes here and put them through with some glossy accents. I've also prepped with a little bit of score tape on the back. So I'll just get it where I want it to go, drill my holes, and attach it with some glossy accents. So from the same paper, I cut out the image for the front door. Near the top, it had this lettering for rare oddities, so I cut that out and I attached it to some black cardstock and then trimmed that so I could have a little reveal of black cardstock around it. And I backed this with some score tape, and I'm just going to attach it centered up here to this side of the right house. Our final step will be to glue the right side and the left side together. Now when we go to put these together, the critical alignment is in the front. You want to make sure that the entrance porch lines up with the front porch. Right here where my thumb is. So get that lined up, and then you can hold that in position and open up the right side of the house. And then you'll be able to see where on the left side of the house the right side of the house is going to come. So you'll be able to know where your glue will go. Now before you glue it, you might need to have some assistance with checking out this step. You want to make sure that the right side is going to open easily. Now if you have made, I'll move this side of the house over for a minute. If the right side of the house is straight on the side that's going to join, then you shouldn't have any issues. But if this line is not straight here, you may need to experiment with a shim of chipboard, and you would put it basically where this black spot is. I would hold it back a little bit from this crease edge. But if this is straight, you shouldn't have that issue. Now, if you get one person can hold the house together with some pressure towards the back, and the other person can pull on the knob, and there's no problem, then you'll know that the house will be fine and that glue up. And if not, just experiment with a shim. If you're by yourself, you can add a string to this knob and pull that string while you're holding it with pressure on the left and right side. So when you do the glue, you'll want to use some very strong adhesive, like E6000, or I'll use my Beacon Quick Grip, which is similar to E6000. It just grabs a little more quickly. And I'll make sure that it is good and solid. Leave it for a while before you go moving the house around. So that's the final step.